Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here tonight, and I actually look forward to this event each year to witness the incredible community and progressive spirit of Rochester. But tonight is only one part of the Empire State Pride Agenda's connection, its very special connection to this city, and indeed to the greater Western New York region. What many of you may not know is that earlier today, as it does every year, the Pride Agenda Foundation Board of Directors convened its quarterly meeting right here in Rochester. I was pleased to preside at that meeting with my new co-chair, Andrew London, who you just heard from a short while ago, who resides both here in Rochester as well as in Syracuse, where he is a professor at Syracuse University. In our view, having both upstate and downstate representation in our board leadership is a real strength, and that's particularly true when we meet with our legislators in the state capitol to advocate on our key issues, as we just recently did at Equality and Justice Day in Albany. I also wanted to say that Rochester is very well represented in our board membership. Today we're thrilled to elect Emily Jones as our newest director, who's well known to many of you in this room. And we last year warmly welcomed to our board this year's spring dinner vice chair and one heck of an auctioneer, as you'll learn tonight, Chris Beato. We also will have the privilege of sharing tonight some words from Terry Cook from Western New York, another board member who recently joined our board. And finally, many of you know Pam Bars, who continues to share her talents with the Pride Agenda after many years of board service. Having members of this community as part of our leadership is critically important to effectuating the Pride Agenda's mission, and we are blessed to have so much Rochester talent among our ranks. We at the Pride Agenda are also extremely fortunate to have an amazing staff who have worked hard at organizing for our rights and conducting programming around our state. I want to acknowledge Courtney Mishi in particular, who is doing a terrific job as Rochester organizer. And I also want to acknowledge the senior staff members Donnie Roberts, Sheila Sable, and Jonathan Lang, all of whom have personally been here in Rochester this past year for some educational and enjoyable Pride Agenda events. Stephen, I have to sympathize. It is really hard to read this here on this lighting, I have to tell you. Since the last time we gathered together for the spring dinner, the Pride Agenda hosted a reception to update the Rochester community on our legislative agenda. And thanks to the generosity of the Bachelor Forum, had plenty of cocktails to do that with. We also had a thank you reception for our Rochester supporters at the Penthouse. Earlier this year, our executive director, Nathan Schaefer, led a forum on our legislative priorities at Trillium Health, and we hosted two different forums at the downtown United Presbyterian Church, one on legislative and policy issues affecting the LGBT community, and the other a forum and conversation about gender, which, as we know, is long overdue. And the Pride Agenda is connected to this community in many other ways. We, this year, as we have for many, marched with you in Rochester's Pride March. Nearly 20% of our Health and Human Services Network partners are from the Western New York region, including Rochester's Trillium Health, Gay and Lesbian Youth Services of Western New York, the Gay Alliance of the Genesee Valley, the MoCA Center, and the Pride Center of Western New York. And of course, the Pride Agenda evaluated your candidates for office and supported those who stand up for our rights, including your wonderful mayor, lovely Warren, and Councilmember Matt Haag, who you just heard from tonight. And we should give them another round of applause. And we will continue to serve as a watchdog, making sure that our elected officials stand by our rights again this year. And we will, in fact, have a forum here in Rochester during the election season featuring our endorsed candidates for office. So Rochester, the Pride Agenda feels extremely connected to you. and we thank you for your inspiring and your generous support of us throughout the years. We know that we can continue to count on you to help to advance the Pride Agenda's mission of igniting equality and advancing justice for all LGBT New Yorkers throughout the Empire State. And now, please join me in welcoming our leader in achieving that mission, the Executive Director of the Empire State Pride Agenda, Nathan Schaefer.